Call to worship are words from Kathy Ryan Starr. Welcome to this place of peace. May we find some moments of quiet contemplation. Welcome to this place of celebration. May our hearts soar with gratitude for the gift of life. Welcome to this place of sacred love. May we gently hold all that is broken here. Welcome to this place of inquiry. Here may we challenge to be open our minds and hearts ever wider. Come into this place of community. May we together draw the circle of love and justice ever wider. Welcome to this sacred place. Come, let us worship together, celebrate, grieve, and love together.
Good morning. My name is Fred Salto, and I'm I guess, older white man with a gray beard, mostly bald, but I do have a ponytail, wearing a black turtleneck and a brown sports jacket. I use he, him pronouns. Our chalice lighting for this morning is by Adrian L.H. Graham. We kindle a flame of power illuminating the holy in each of our faces. We recognize in the flame of passionate commitment to our shared faith. We are held and carried from day to day, from week to week, in the shining of the light. As this flame is mine as well as yours, we are brought together today, called to growth, expansion within this glow. What does your heart know while beholding this holy fire?
And please rise in body or spirit, and let us sing our opening hymn, "We Build a Land."
Our reading for this morning is entitled A Network of Mutuality by Martin Luther King, Jr. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied to a single garment of destiny. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. There are some things in our societal system to which all of us ought to be maladjusted. Hatred and bitterness can never be the cure disease of fear. Only love can do that. We must evolve from all of human conflict, a method which rejects revenge, aggression, and retaliation. The foundation of such a method is love. Before it's too late, we must narrow the gaping chasm between our proclamations of peace and our lowly deeds which precipitate and perpetuate war. One day, we must come to see that peace is not merely a distant goal that we seek, but a means by which we arrive at that goal. We must pursue peaceful ends through peaceful means. We shall hew out of a mountain of despair a stone of hope.
Good morning. My name is Finetta Hoy Pearson, and I'm honored to serve as the Vice President of One Voice Chorus. I am a short, black female wearing a brightly colored pink sweater, a colorful scarf, and a black hat. My pronouns are she, her, hers. On behalf of One Voice Chorus, I'd like to thank you for hosting us today and for your many years of hospitality and collaboration. Many of you have sung with us over the years or seen us in performance here in your beautiful space. And with your support, we've grown so much that we've had to leave this space for another location. But we miss you, and it is a wonderful challenge for us to face. Our mission is to sing the beauty and the power of diversity, uniting people through music and demonstrating that we are stronger together. Music has the power to heal, inspire, and connect us, and we bring this to life through our diverse repertoire, concerts, and collaborations with cultural and educational civic partners. One Voice Chorus began in 2001 with a concert that united the choirs of two Richmond congregations, one traditionally African American and one European American. By 2004, we had become an independent 501c3 organization, and today we are primarily volunteer-led chorus with close to 200 singers that perform with us annually in our concerts. Plus, we have a smaller audition chorale for outreach events like today's service, and we're here with you today. As One Voice Chorus continues our beautiful work of singing and connecting communities, as well as planning for our 25th anniversary in the year 26 to 27, your generosity this month through your Share Their Plate program couldn't come at a better time. Your support helps us to manage our growing numbers, our associated costs, and ensuring that we continue bringing people together through the healing power of music, and we look forward to future collaborations with you all. Thank you.
Thank you. The ushers are passing the baskets. Please look to the monitors a way to give. The offering will be gracefully received.
We're doing it. Here we are. Welcome, everyone. My name is Leanne Luskin. She, her. I serve as your Director of Lifespan Faith Formation here at First UU Richmond. I am a light-skinned white woman in my mid-40s. I have sort of light reddish hair that's pulled back into a braid today. I have on a black top and a black and white keffiyeh scarf to show my love for the people of Palestine. Today's a multi-generational service where all ages are in here together. It's one of my favorites. We typically have a time for all ages, we call it. Sometimes it's a story, but not always. Today it is. So we are going to, if you'd like, if you are a person who is young at heart or a young person who might like to come sit a little bit closer and hear a story, you are welcome to. If you just like to color, you're welcome to come up here and join us. We have some coloring sheets. Before we start our story, a friend of mine, Adrian, would like to come up and share a quote that means a lot to him and say a few words. I'll meet you over here, Adrian.
This quote by Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. resonated with me as it was a speech given to middle school students like myself. The quote was presented as follows: "If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, crawl. But by all means, just keep moving." Thank you.
Thank you, Adrian. That's a really good introduction to our story. It worked out really perfectly. Times are hard and a little bit scary, and we're not quite sure. We're never quite sure what might happen next, but we're feeling a little uncertain about what might happen tomorrow and the next day and the next day after that. There's another quote that I love from Dr. King about the arc of the universe is long, but it bends toward justice. And a really important teacher of mine, Reverend Sherman, reminds me that that arc doesn't bend by itself. We bend it, right? Yeah. So today, we are going to talk about social change. We can go ahead and start the slides, if possible. There we go, perfect. This is a map of social change that comes from the work of Deepa Iyer. And it's probably maybe a little small, maybe some of you can read that, but there are so many options, so many ways to use our talents and our gifts and what we feel drawn to about what we love in the world. So we'll start there. The story is called "We Are the Builders" by Deepa Iyer, and the pictures are by Romina Galata. Welcome to our community day. So many grown-ups and kids are here. Everyone wants to volunteer. There's plenty to do in our town. Help new friends, plant trees in the ground. The time is now. Let's all play a part. Listen and learn. What moves your heart? We are the builders. We form and forge, construct and fix, improve homes with nails and bricks. See those old desks, tables, and chairs? Good as new with some repairs. Who wants to join the builders? Who might be a builder? We've got some builders. Great. We are the caregivers. We comfort, console, soothe, and cheer. Care kits for all near and dear. Acts of service and words that mend. How can I help, my new friend? Who wants to join the caregivers? I know we have some caregivers here, for sure. We are the frontline responders. We plan and protect. Stay prepared. Storms brewing, but don't be scared. Stock cans of soup, bags of fresh fruits, gather warm coats, gloves, and boots. Who wants to join the frontline responders? When there was no water in Richmond, we had some frontline responders here and beyond. Amen. We are the disruptors. We declare, demand, demonstrate, call for change, don't hesitate. Raise our voices, banners, and beats. Meet and march out in the streets. Who wants to join the disruptors? Right on. We are the experimenters. We scan, invent, and improvise, solve hard problems with fresh eyes. What if these used bottles and rags could become backpacks and bags? Or what if we turned a whole bunch of plastic bags into a bench that we can sit on in our hall? Who wants to join the experimenters? We are the visionaries. We dream, imagine, and inspire a world we can all admire. Fresh air, clean water, safe and free. Bright futures, that's what we see. Who wants to join the visionaries? We are the weavers. We stitch, we braid, we intertwine. Common threads link hearts and minds. When people fight or disagree, find what connects you and me. Who wants to join the weavers? That's hard work. We are the healers. We renew, restore, and relieve. Tend to those who cry and grieve. Sometimes when the world is too much, we nurture with breath and touch. Who wants to join the healers? We are the storytellers. We sing, we dance, we create art, bring joy and love heart to heart. Vibrant murals preserve our past, histories cherished at last. Who wants to join the storytellers? Of the different roles to play, which one feels like you today? You could become a guide, like me, show new folks what they can be. We mentor, we advise, we steer, share wisdom, honest and clear. Now that it's clear what we can each do, we want to hear from all of you. What role would you choose? Who would you be? How would you support your community? Say one or two right out loud. Healer, weaver, storyteller. These are our Unitarian Universalist shared values. And love is right at the center. So we keep that at the center, we tap into our gifts, we lean on each other, and we've got this. Okay. Thank you so much. You can take your coloring back to your seat, or you can hang out, whatever feels good. I appreciate all of you.
I invite you now into a quiet time, a time for spoken and silent contemplation. And hear these words by Wayne Orenson. Spirit life, we have come into each other's presence this day, seeking a part of ourselves, knowing that we do not live alone, and knowing we cannot live fully if we are for ourselves alone. We gather in thanks for the life and the ministry of Martin Luther King Jr., not because we wish to worship him as a saint, but because we wish to embody his dream as a possibility we make real. We gather with full knowledge of our shortcomings, our lives set before us many tasks, and often we are not equal to them. We fall short of our own expectations. We find we do not know enough. We are not always patient. We fall into anger. We cannot find strength. We lack the vision. We wait in vain for wisdom. It is painful to acknowledge our shortcomings, yet here we are. Spirit of life, we are here, not always perfect, not always wise, not always just, but wonderfully and mysteriously human and alive. We dedicate this time together to renewing our hope. May the stories we share give us courage. May the songs we sing give us hope. May the words we speak give us wisdom. And most of all, may the touch of hands, the sight of faces, the sounds of voices lifted in song and affirmation restore in us faith that this world may be made whole with all its peoples one. May this be so. Amen. Ashe.
Flowing.
A Dream Deferred by Langston Hughes. What happens to a dream deferred? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun, or fester like a sore and then run? Does it stink like rotten meat, or crust and sugar over like a syrupy sweet? Maybe it just sags like a heavy load. Or does it explode?
"60 years ago, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. stood before crowds of thousands at the Lincoln Memorial and declared, 'I have a dream.' That speech was not just a collection of words, it was a proclamation of hope, a challenge to a nation, an invitation to join in the work of justice. His words seared in the hearts and minds of those in attendance on that day and many who are living in this country today. But beloveds, we must ask ourselves, what has happened to that dream in the decades since? Have we nurtured it, or have we let it slip through our fingers? Have we fulfilled its promise, or has it been deferred? This leads us to wrestle with the burning question posed by Langston Hughes: what happens to a dream deferred? And yet, 60 years later, as we are gathered here this morning, we must confront the painful reality that the dreams remain deferred. But this is not a time for complacency, but a time for urgent action. Now, Dr. King's dream was not conjured in isolation. It was grounded in the principles of justice, equality, and the worthiness of every human being, principles that resonate with our Unitarian Universalist values. And when Dr. King spoke of a dream where children would not be judged by the color of their skins, but by the content of their character, he was echoing the truth as ancient as human spirit that every person is worthy of love, respect, and dignity. He calls us to build the beloved community, a world where love reigns supreme. But this dream was not just a vision of harmony. It was a direct challenge to the system of oppression that has long defined our society. It was a call to dismantle the structure of racism, poverty, and violence that deny the full humanity of so many. And I've come by to tell you this morning that we still have a long, long, long way to go to see Dr. King's dream come to fruition. In the Langston Hughes poem that Leanne read, he asked, what happened to a dream deferred? Does it dry up like raisin in the sun? So let us ask this of Dr. King's dream. Has his dream dried up like a raisin in the sun? You see, in the decades since that fateful day in 1963, yes, progress has been made, but it has been slow, uneven, and incomplete. The victories of the Civil Rights movements, the Voting Rights Act, the Civil Rights Act, and the end of Jim Crow's laws were monumental, but yet they did not end the struggle. We've been and still are fighting those same battles for justice and equality in this country for over 100 years. Now, some of you might say, but Reverend Sherman, look how far we have come. And yes, we have made strides. We've seen the rise of black leaders in politics, business, and culture. We elected a black president not only once, but twice. And we're seeing young people of all races marching the streets crying out that Black Lives Matter. But beloveds, progress is not the same as liberation. Visibility is not the same as equity. And we cannot let the illusion of progress blinds us to the reality of systemic oppression that still grips this nation. The song that we sing every Martin Luther King holiday, "We shall overcome," doesn't mean we have overcome. So let me spend a few moments to speak about the challenges that we face today in building the beloved community that Dr. King dreamed of. Let's first talk about racism. We all know that racism is not a relic of the past. It is a present reality. It lives in our schools where black and brown children are suspended at higher rates than their white peers. It lives in our hospitals where black mothers are 3 times more likely to die during childbirth. It lives in our streets where black men are stopped, searched, killed at disproportionate rates. And just because we don't see the scenes of black men being brutalized by cops plastered across our nightly news as we did during George Floyd era, it doesn't mean it still doesn't happen today. And don't let me mention white supremacy. White supremacy culture is still a way of life in this country, and Dr. King warned us about its dangers, not its overt form, but its subtle manifestations. He spoke about white moderate, the ones who prefer order over justice, the one who said, "I agree with your goals, but not your methods." And today we see white supremacy culture in the resistance and teaching of American history. We see it in the dismantling in the DEI programs in corporation, government, college, and university. We see it in the backlash against critical race theory and the banning of books that center marginalized voices and erasures of their stories. And friends, be prepared and brace yourself to see more of this starting tomorrow at 12 noon when 47 get inaugurated. And we all know that 60 years ago, Dr. King marched for the right to vote. And today that right is still under siege. And across the nation, laws are being passed to make it harder for people, especially black and brown people, to cast their ballots. Polling places are being closed. Voter ID laws are being active. Gerrymandering is slicing up community to loot their power. And voter suppression is not just a political issue, it is a moral issue about whose voice matters, whose humanity is recognized, and whose dreams are deferred. And can we talk about economic inequality? The gap between the rich and poor has widened, and this has disproportionately affected the marginalized community. And according to racial data, the median wealth of white families is significantly higher than those of black families. And now this economic disparity is not just a statistic, it translates into little access to quality education, where educational opportunity for children from marginalized communities are still not equal of those of their white counterparts. And health disparity between black and brown people and white people remains stark, where people of color are more likely to suffer from chronic conditions such as hypertension and diabetes and have a higher mortality rate. And don't let me get started about the planet. You know, our planet is wounded. And I don't care what the climate change analysis said, the climate crisis is real, and it has emerged as one of the greatest moral challenges of our time. Look at the effects of the hurricane in parts of Western Carolina and Tennessee, and the wildfire in Southern California. And while the media highlights the suffering of loss of property of the Hollywood celebrities, climate change disproportionately impacts marginalized communities. It exacerbates existing inequality, with marginalized community bearing the brunt of extreme weather events and lacking the resources to recover. Talking about dreams deferred. What about dreams unfulfilled? So I believe the challenges that our nation has faced, especially those from marginalized community, are not new. I lived it all my life. And Langston Hughes warned that the deferred dream might explode. And we have seen that at this explosion informed a righteous anger and collective action. protest movements like Black Lives Matter, environmental justice, reproductive rights, LGBTQ campaigns, as well as efforts to protect voting rights, are all expressions of dreams deferred but not abandoned. And these movements are not signs of a broken society, but a society yearning to be whole. But we must also acknowledge the cost of a deferred dream, because for many, the delay of justice feels like a betrayal. It feels like cynicism, a sense of powerlessness. It is a heavy burden to carry, especially for those who have been waiting far too long. But friends, I believe Dr. King's dreams may be deferred, but it's not dead. Because our faith calls us not to despair, but to take action, and demands us to confront the forces that delay justice and perpetuate inequality. So, Dr. King warns that tranquilizing drug gradualism is a temptation to settle for incremental progress and small victories instead of bold transformation. And as people of faith, we must resist the temptation to settle. And this, my friends, requires self-examination. We must look inwards. And so we must ask ourselves, are we in our lives complicit in deferring the dream? How do we perpetrate system of inequality through our choices, our silence, our comforts, our apathy, our inaction, or our willingness to confront uncomfortable truth? You see, Dr. King's dream was not just a vision for the future, but a call to action in the present. It calls for the renewal of the dream. And to renew the dream, we must commit to the work of justice, love, and liberation, and we must act boldly and courageously. So, friends, what must we do to renew Dr. King's dreams? What must we do to make his dream a reality? First, we must confront systemic injustice. Dr. King declared, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And so now, more than ever, we must boldly confront the systems of oppression that perpetuate racial, economic, and social inequality. And we can do this by advocating for police reforms to ensure accountability and community-centered public safety. We can end voter suppression by fighting federal protection that guarantees every citizen a right to vote. We can demand economic justice by supporting policy that closes wealth gaps and ensures fair raises, housing assets, and health care for all. And we can address economic inequality by recognizing that Dr. King's Poor People campaign declared that civil rights are inseparable from economic justice. So we must demand that our federal and state representatives support living wages and advocate for programs to reduce poverty. We must build coalition between workers, unions, and organizations to promote labor rights, invest in education and infrastructure, prioritizing historical marginalized community. And we must challenge racism and white supremacy and continue our effort to dismantle systemic racism with truth-telling, accountability through reparation, restorative justice, and accurate historical education. We must challenge racism and white supremacy by interrupting hate and biases with comprehensive anti-racism training in our schools, workplaces, churches, and public institutions, and by strengthening allyship by encouraging those with privilege to take responsibility and advocating for equality. And finally, we must cultivate the beloved community. Now, the beloved community is not a utopia that exists somewhere beyond our reach. It is a vision that we are called to build here and now. It is a community where everyone belongs, where diversity is celebrated, where conflicts are resolved through love and understanding. And we can do this by prioritizing relationships over divisions, fostering understanding across political, racial, and cultural lines, deepening interfaith and intellectual partnership to model shared humanity. Because, beloved, Dr. King's dream is still alive. It may be battered, but unbroken, deferred, but not destroyed, because it lives in the heart of those who march, who speak the truth, who teach the next generation to dream boldly. It lives in every act of resistance, every moment of courage, every choice to build a beloved community. And we all know that the challenges before us are great, especially as we embark on the era of this upcoming presidential administration with uncertainty, fear, despair, anxiety, and resignation. But friends, we needed not to give up hope. Let us not defer the dream any longer. Let us take steps, whether great or small, to ensure that Dr. King's dream does not dry up like a raisin in the scorcher sun. Let us renew his dream by working for the cause of freedom and justice so that Dr. King's dreams become a reality. Now, I know for some of us who've been in this work for a long time, we get frustrated and we feel that the dream has continued to be deferred and deferred and deferred. But I hope that our young folks will rise up to the occasion to bring renewed energy and vision to the struggle for justice, that their voices will not be silenced, and the seeds of change are being sown. So I know tomorrow might not be a good day for many of us, but let us not focus on that day, but focus our attention and our energy by honoring Dr. King's legacy with renewed commitment to the work ahead, carrying the dream in our hearts and the fire of commitment in our souls. And may we be co-creators of a world where the dream is no longer deferred but fulfilled, where justice rolls down like water and righteousness like a flowing stream. Let us recommit ourselves to the unfinished work of equity, justice, and love. And beloveds, together we can ensure that Dr. King's dream is not deferred but delivered, not just for my generation, but for all who comes after us. This is our call to action. And my question to you before I sit down, will you answer it? May this be so.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I want to thank Reverend Logan for such a prescient message. Very meaningful. I'm Jack McLean, a black man, very, very tall. I've always wanted to say that. Please forgive me, I just want to take a moment. I'm the artistic director of One Voice Chorus, and we just want to thank you again. I think it's auspicious that we were able to be here on this day, celebrating what we are and facing what we are, and you have been very supportive, and we want to thank you for your patronage, your support, for your participation. There are a number of your members who sing with us, and as you know, we wouldn't be who we are without Jamie. She's pretty incredible. So I just wanted to say this is the beginning of my third season here, and when I first began, we were rehearsing here in this room. I love this room. I think in terms of sanctuaries as concert halls, and this is a very, very special room. So I want you to know we miss you, and you'll always be a part of us. And we must, together, keep the dream alive and keep hope alive. So thanks for having us.
Wow, that was amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. For our chalice extinguishing this morning, We Shall Overcome by John Will Johnstone. When can we truly celebrate the diversity of contributions and talents offered by all people? We shall overcome hatred and prejudice and oppression. When can we truly extend our hands to another in loving acceptance? When shall we overcome the past that haunts us now? Living in peace and freedom, we shall overcome the wrongs that have happened and the debts left unpaid. Let us join together that commitment to overcome.
Didn't we have church this morning? Amen. Once a Baptist, always a Baptist. I want to thank all the participants in worship this morning, especially the wonderful one-voice choir. And the reason why you're all not rehearsing with us anymore because we don't have any parking for y'all. But we're so glad to have you back. A few announcements before I give the closing words. Do you know how you're going to honor Dr. King's legacy tomorrow? It won't be watching the inauguration. But one way to join is to join for our annual vigil to reduce gun violence at the state capitol tomorrow. We'll be meeting members here at 115 to carpool to downtown, and the vigil will be held at the Bell Tower from 2 to 3, with optional visit with your legislator and your delegates following. So let's have a big turnout from First UU, and if you want more information, Anne-Marie McCartan will be in the lobby following the service. Raise your hand, Anne-Marie, so we know who you are. And also, other ways that we can honor Dr. King, and this is happening in February here at First UU, our Living the Pledge to End Racism workshop, Saturdays, February the 8th and 22nd from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. And you can learn how to confront racism and biases in everyday encounters, recognize and challenge systems of racism, and take personal leadership in ending racism in our community. If you are interested in attending, there's a sign-up QR code on our website, or you can reach out to Margaret, and she can tell you how you can sign up for Living the Pledge. So, as we prepare to leave this place and return to our daily lives, let us carry forward the inspiring spirit of Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. His legacy calls us to embrace hope and to move forward in service and love, rather than succumb to despair and fear. Dr. King's life reminds us that the path to justice is built through collaborative efforts of many hands working together in love and determination. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day is not just a holiday. It is a sacred call to action and a day of service. It is our opportunity to roll up our sleeves and put our faith into action. And this day is a reminder that we must not resign or retreat. It is a call to recommit ourselves to justice, compassion, and the creation of the beloved community. And regardless of the challenges we face, we possess the power to make a difference. So let us embody Dr. King's birthday by embodying his dream. Let us step into the world to serve, the uplift the oppressed, extend the hands to the lonely, plant seeds of change where despair seeks to take root. And beloveds, Dr. King taught us that love and justice are not passive ideas, but active commitment. And he reminds us that life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? So instead of lamenting on what is broken, let's take actions into our communities and build builders. And go in peace, go in love, and go in service. And please rise in body and spirit, and let us sing our closing hymn, Lift Every Voice and Sing.